Thought I would post a quick update. The only reason I posted it is because I honestly could not see my wife's point of view on it even after discussing it with her multiple times. I was stuck on why is it so hard to just wear a different swimsuit to avoid any potential issues. I was in the doghouse for a couple days, but we are off the sailboat and on the beaches now for the last part of the trip with the friends. After things calmed down, my wife read the post and she thinks I inaccurately depicted the story in some places, but she also sort of saw where I was coming from a little bit more in some other ways. The correction being her bikini she chose to wear is not really that crazy. Yes, it's a thong and super revealing, but she thinks I made it sound like she was wearing a G-string with 2 shells covering her nipples. It would be something you would see on a European beach, maybe even American regularly. I think being on a boat and not in a beach setting just with 6 people somehow made it feel more intimate and noticeable what she was wearing. Not sure how to explain that. After thinking about it and talking to her, I will admit I was also uncomfortable with my friends seeing my wife's body. Which is immature, it's not my property as many people and her told me. The part that started the main argument, which I left out, was we were all in the cockpit of the boat, the part where it has the wheel to drive which is kind of below, and there is a sunbathing part directly in front of that. My wife was laying on her stomach facing away from us. Her thong wasn't positioned totally correctly and you could see a bit more than I think was meant to be seen. My friend just kept looking and losing focus on the conversation. It was kind of embarrassing. He and other husband were looking before this, but this for some reason just got to me. I'd gripe at him being my longtime friend and it's not like he's a creepy guy usually at all, but it made me way more uncomfortable than I thought it would. I for some reason didn't want to blame him. I know this is wrong, but when I first went to a nude beach in Europe my eyes wandered, but for some reason it being my wife and him being my friend just made me cringe. I told my wife later that she was flashing us, but in a rude way. I should have approached it from a different angle because this is the part where things went south. I think I was just projecting the frustration of the entire situation on her, which was unfair. The only part that sort of changed things is the one wife was actually uncomfortable and obviously noticed her husband staring at my wife. She ended up telling my wife privately that it was hard, don't want to go into specifics. She didn't directly blame her, but it was kind of obvious she didn't enjoy the situation. My wife felt bad as she had no intention of causing any issues. She truly didn't think it would be a problem. She truly sees nudity completely different than any of us. She will be naked in front of her friends and family and not even think about it. That is just coming from a completely different context than any of the other people on the trip. In her mind, she wasn't even naked, so what is the big deal? However, she did say knowing what she knows now she wouldn't want to cause issues in someone else's marriage, no matter if she completely disagrees with it on principle. She thought I was definitely overreacting at first and being jealous, and she still does, but she says I probably had an easier time from my perspective seeing that potential issue. On a positive note, we are not divorcing. This didn't ruin the trip, and the other wife and her went to a secluded beach and she, the other wife on the trip, tried going topless for the first time in her life and loved it. Edit. I asked her to come hang out and move quickly after I noticed she had an issue with her swimsuit.